You ever feel like the biggest obstacle holding you back is you? That the toughest battles we fight as creators aren't out in the world, but right inside our own heads? Well, today, we're going to dive into one of the most famous internal battles in literary history, a fight that still feels incredibly relevant today. So get this. Back in 1931, the amazing writer Virginia Woolf says this. It's kind of shocking, right? A little bit violent, even. Killing an angel? And she says it was part of her job? It just makes you wonder. That's the mystery we're unpacking. To really get it, we have to understand the world this phantom haunted, and why Virginia Woolf was convinced that for her, and for all women, to be truly free, this angel had to go. Okay, so to find this phantom, we've got to do a little time traveling. The context, the world this whole idea came from, is absolutely crucial for understanding the fight. So picture it. The year is 1931. Woolf is speaking to a room full of professional women. Now, this was a really dynamic time. On the one hand, new doors were opening up for women in public life. But on the other hand, deep, old-school social norms were holding them back in ways you couldn't always see. And here she is, the angel in the house. Now, she wasn't a real person. Not at all. She was more like a ghost, a phantom that was a hangover from the Victorian era. She was that perfect woman everyone was told they should be. Totally selfless, always charming, and completely submissive. She was that little voice of social pressure whispering inside every woman's mind. And this angel, she had rules. These rules are what made her feel so real and so menacing. She'd whisper that a woman had to flatter, had to hide her own ambition, had to pretend she didn't have her own ideas. And the biggest one, sacrifice yourself for others every single day. And this gets us right to Woolf's biggest insight. She realized the fight for freedom was happening on two fronts. Yeah, there were the external barriers, the obvious stuff like fewer jobs or unequal pay. But Woolf said the more dangerous battle was against the internal barriers, the angel, that voice of self-doubt, and all those expectations they'd been soaking in their entire lives. So how do you fight a phantom? Well, Virginia Woolf, being a writer, decided to take on this internal battle head-on. She started from a really personal place. I mean, think about it. She was a successful author, a professional woman when that was incredibly rare, and still, she's questioning her own freedom. She recognized that even in a so-called free job like writing, that phantom was still in the room with her, limiting what she could do. And this is the absolute genius of her approach. She takes her own private internal struggle and holds it up like a mirror. She wasn't just talking about herself. She was giving a voice and a name to this silent, invisible battle that a whole generation of women was fighting inside their own heads. Now, it's really important to get this. Woolf didn't write a how-to guide. Her weapons weren't instructions, they were literary. She used these powerful metaphors, like the phantom, to make the invisible enemy visible. Her writing was the mirror, forcing her audience to see the angel in themselves. Just the act of writing, honestly, was an act of rebellion. Okay, this is where the whole story pivots. Because Woolf's essay, her challenge, it's only half of the equation. The other half, well, that's you. Her words, written almost a century ago, aren't just some dusty thing to read in a history book. They are a living, breathing invitation. An invitation to look inward, to think, and to make a choice. So this is the question Woolf is asking across time, directly to us. What are our modern-day angels? You know, what are those internalized expectations from society, from our jobs, from ourselves that tell us to just be quiet, to play it small, to put our own ambitions on the back burner? And this really gets to the beautiful way this all works. It's a collaboration. It's a living, breathing conversation between the past and the present. It breaks down perfectly like this. You have the context of 1931. That's the raw material, the real problem. Then you have the writer, Woolf, who brilliantly shapes that problem into a timeless challenge. But it's the reader, you, who brings it to life. You're the one who takes that challenge and makes it mean something in your world right now. And that's really the profound power of great writing, isn't it? It's not passive. It's an active bridge that connects something that happened in the past directly to the choices you can make about your own future. It pokes you, it questions you, it inspires you to change.
Which brings us right back to where we started, but with a totally new spin. Woolf killed her angel in the house so she could become the writer she needed to be. So the question she leaves for us, the challenge that's been echoing ever since that speech in 1931, is this: what phantom is standing in your way, and what are you going to do about it?